Well, good morning everyone. Hope you're doing good and have a great week. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for your support. And to all our viewers and those recently subscribed, thank you and welcome to the channel. So today I'd like to do an update on my vintage silver and generic silver challenge for this year. Before I add the new Prospector rounds that I managed to find here in Singapore to the collection, let's just go ahead and take a look at what I've collected so far. For now, we'll be taking a look at my silver rounds collection. We'll start with the 4 Johnson Matthey rounds. And then I have a single A-mark round here. This is the Liberty Bell from 1983. And here we have the Koala Bears silver round from AMC. Still looking shiny. And right over here we have the 4 generic rounds from the Golden State Mint. And just down here, we have the 4 commemorative rounds. This is the Christopher Columbus, the Capitol Medals round for Tallahassee, and the 2 Land of the Free rounds, commemorating the attack on the United States on 9/11. And finally, here we have my single Prospector round from 1985, which I'll be adding additional rounds to this collection for this video. As you can see, the Engelhard American Prospector round here, the one from 1985, is a little bit lonely just by its lonesome. So I'll be adding 2 additional rounds to this collection, and both these rounds are from 1984. What's unique about these 2 rounds is that for this year, Engelhard produced the rounds in 2 different versions. One with the eagle back and one with the E logo. So I was really chuffed to be able to find these 2 versions for this particular year right here in Singapore. But before we get into these rounds, before I get to the specifications and design, do leave me a like if you enjoy this sort of content, and don't forget to share and subscribe. So let's get into it. Alright, as with all my previous videos, and for the benefit of those who may not be aware of this series, let me just quickly go through the specifications. These American Prospector rounds are minted in 3/9 fine silver. They have a weight of 31.1 grams or 1 troy ounce, a diameter of 39.8 millimeter, and a thickness of approximately 2.9 millimeter with a fully riveted edge. This series was minted by Engelhard from 1982 to 1987. There were a total of 7 different versions, and the mintage numbers for each of those versions was reported to be 75,000, although the years 1983 and 1987 were reported to have a lower mintage and are considered to be quite rare. In addition to those, proof versions of these rounds were also issued for each version in very limited numbers. I would also like to quickly add, with reference to information shared by Silverstruck, an awesome YouTuber of our community, as well as referring to this website, MORE Engelhards, the link of which will be in the description text below. There are 2 additional American Prospector rounds or Prospector rounds that are issued in addition to the 7 rounds of this series. The first of which is the Prospectors Summit Bancorporation round, issued in 1988, which has a very limited mintage of 100 rounds, which makes it quite rare. And the second being the Canadian Prospector round, which has no date and was minted in proof. It's been reported that the rounds were minted between 1985 to 1986, and by referring to the All Engelhard website, mintage numbers for those rounds were just limited to 250. So those Canadian Prospector rounds are also considered extremely rare. Okay, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the first Prospector round that I'll be adding to my collection. This is the 1984 with the E logo on the back, standing for Engelhard. This design was minted between 1982 to 1984, and there were 4 different Prospector rounds with this E logo on the back. The second Prospector round that I'm adding is also from 1984, but for this round, Engelhard introduced the eagle back. This design here was introduced in 1984 and was continued until 1987, so there were a total of 4 different Prospector rounds with this eagle back design. As I mentioned briefly before, a mintage for these 2 rounds was limited to just 75,000 each, and both these rounds here are in extremely high grade. Well, alright, here are both the Prospector rounds in the quadrum square capsules. They're looking really pretty, and both these Prospectors join my previous single Prospector from 1985, giving me a total of 3 out of the 7 that have been issued for the series. I sincerely doubt that I'll be able to collect the other 4, especially the ones from 1983 and 1987, but I'll have a go at it for the remainder of this year. Let me just go ahead now and add these 3 rounds to this board over here. So here's where my collection stands so far. Again, all these rounds here were found in Singapore, and the challenge for me is to find as many designs as I can for both vintage and generic as well as commemorative rounds here in Singapore before the end of this year. And looking at where I am right now for this time of the year, I think I'm off to a really great start. Really awesome. And with that, I guess that will do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed watching me add the 2 Prospector rounds from 1984 to my vintage Silver Challenge collection, and as well as learn a little bit more about the American Prospector series from Engelhard. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, don't forget to leave me a like if you have enjoyed this content, and be sure to hit that share and subscribe buttons down here if you have not done so. As always, from everybody over here, you all please take care, be safe, and have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.